Just water, thank you. Oh, actually, you have coffee? Still. No, that's fine. Yeah, that might help things along. Yes, please. I've already repeated the chicken story. At the time? Oh, God. Ngasong arebe.
Yobari.
Chubare. Ngatsote. Chuzinzare. I wondered if we got our time wrong or something.
Good morning, everyone. We will start on page 8 with opening prayers. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the Mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sangha. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakini, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the Mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the Mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. And now we will do the short mandala offering on page 16. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountains, the four continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. To the lamas who possess the three kayas, I offer the outer, inner, and secret offerings. With my body, wealth, and all that is visible, please grant me the supreme realization, enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Om Guru Ratna Mandala Pudsa Mega Samudra Saparana Samaya Ahum. And the next prayer we will do is the request for teachings, the small handout. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two wheels and their combination, according to the disposition and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings.
Dada simje tamje lo chusan do wara chenje labdo sora che lamnan do wara chenje labdo so lam chuba se wara chenje labdo so chuba yishi san cha wara chenje labdo sora dada simje tamje lo chusan do wara chenje labdo so Chu lam dan do wara chenje labdo so lam chuba se wara chenje labdo so chuba yishi san cha wara chenje labdo so dada simje tamje lo chusan do chenje labdo so ra chu lam dan do wara chenje labdo so lam chuba se wara chenje labdo so chuba yishi san cha wara chenje labdo so ra chu dan chu je ne lo ma le ba che gen zene chembe yishi je do so ye la kong ge pa de da wa rik be do je xiao lang ge chan sa ra pan de sa ve la ma mo je da ge je wo da ben de den yon ka din chen be go ne je zong de ko song to ge ngo do sa do so sen je nam tham la Hadu delik sen huya tang, jene ta noken ta dang nyambe semye tamje lana me bayan ta bas dob sanje je kumata bar jab ta te chado tambe chu samo huyi nyambe ge kono chanchum choto tu kene seno nang ta kan sembar chave chene ta tikba chembo lojong tonde ma tene ta jago lodon take no
Let it.
jago lai lodon take the batengana to mutun hyodege yori tene ta te nan ma hyodogis.
Good morning, everyone. Please generate as your motivation for listening to the teachings the thought of bodhicitta, which is that all beings throughout space must achieve perfect and omniscient Buddhahood, and that it is in order to bring that about that you will listen to and practice the profound and holy Dharma. The Dharma with which we are concerned here is Jomgalodru Tai's Great Path of Awakening, which is an exposition of Chekawa Yeshe Dorje's 7 points of Mahayana mind training. We will now continue from where we left off yesterday afternoon.
Kono gati chagom singende
La
yasat.
de
Kono gati chagom.
mari de drotsare
Tendo se
da tsiktreng apak nipa ne tronang kushir tawaye toni songwalana me
go artina. Powa mando kono gati chagom. Tendo sat.
lare
Ta nipan ne olas ras. Tela ta jab go satila ma jab. Jam go stali jam no. Nipan ne tonang ko yir tawa yi toni so la na me ji song te jer nawa tham je tang ta je jer de da nawa tham je tang go jengi te yang malam to me sik ba chu chen ne nyam thak ba ta rang sem malam ga nang chu che wa ta me ga sik ba ta ba te nyam thak ba ge malam me wa ta rang sem to ben na wa me dem pa la dembar zon te na ya dembar to ba dur ta me pa tha ji na tam te de me jinga la yak pe ngo tong ba chu ko number 7 to ko te ni song do yu ba long ko te nam yeme ngo ni ji ko te jenga ne sum ngo song da tarbe ngala nyomban joban ne ko yung to je dawa ta pen shugolong ko to ko sum ngo ni ji ko te ko yung to je dawa ta ko cha tong ni ji song ko je thonang thonang kyo pe me nga la no me pa o.
So to back up to the menu for a moment, among the 7 points, we are within the 3rd point, which is bringing adversity onto the path to awakening. And this 3rd point has 3, you could say, options or techniques. The first is using relative bodhicitta to transform the experience of adversity. And we completed that section yesterday afternoon. The second of the 3 is using absolute bodhicitta to respond to adversity. And we begin with that. In Chekawa Yeshe Dorje's root text, it says, viewing the projections of delusion as the 4 bodies is the unsurpassable protection of emptiness. As was pointed out in the section on the meditation on absolute bodhicitta, all appearances lack a true existence because they are never in stasis. So therefore, this approach is to remind yourself that all appearances, and therefore especially this appearance of adversity, whatever it is no more real than the experience of being burnt by fire in a dream or drowning in water in a dream. Although in a dream where we are burnt or drowned, we might suffer because we take it to be real, we recognize once we wake up that it is not. In the same way, adopt the attitude that, or recognize that the experience of adversity is simply a deluded projection by one's own mind. The delusion is not the mere appearance, however. The delusion consists of mistaking that which is unreal to be real. And so resolve, through the meditation described earlier on absolute bodhicitta, that while things appear, they do not have so much as a subatomic particle's worth of inherent reality or existence. Therefore, one does not need to attempt to negate or avoid appearances, but simply to recognize that that is what things are, mere appearances. And resting within the experience of mere appearances without fixating on them, by superimposing upon them a reality they do not inherently possess, is the supreme protection of emptiness. And it is the recognition that everything that appears is in fact already the four bodies or four kayas of Buddhahood. The nature of appearances, like the nature of the mind, is emptiness. That is the Dharmakaya. Appearance, the manifestation of that nature as one thing or another, that lucidity, that presence, is the Nirmanakaya, or body of emanation. But these two things are not two different things. They are conceptual isolates, but they are not in reality two different things. So therefore, their unity is the Sambhogakaya, or body of complete enjoyment. And since the first two are not two separate things, it need not be said that their unity and those two are not three separate things. So their unity is the Svabhavikakaya, or essence body. So therefore, resting free from conceptual apprehension, such as a fixation on the origination, cessation, and remaining of a situation, a thing, or a process, is the instruction which points out all appearances as the four bodies of Buddhahood. This is also called the armor of the view and the supreme protection circle of emptiness. And it is considered the unsurpassable instruction on cutting through deluded projection.
Sumbane Jova Yedin Tabjin Cho Jesonte Teyang So Sabiki Jova Digba Shabiki Jova Landela Toma Jimba Kando Chujonla Tom
Chutor Bulba.
Chutor Burwe Yoa Yeda Demba Ne Jange Lam de Chobe Tabin Choyin Stateta with Gibote Janga Batamki Tani Lam de Chebe Tabin Chot Chubain Sondo Tela Tambon Da Depa Dewan de Jang Owa Dohana Owan Dere Doha Jo Digpa Pong Deji Jo So Shikbe Dan Dogbe Tether Chao Nyambe Lama Conchola Choba Gendula Yinkor Jumbu Torma Mame Sasa Chakor So Lunga Yi Samche So Jinu So Jindup Tang Jamdo Simche Chabato Yana Dumbata Mendambol Da Nana Legna never change love the soul. Stop in Koran, Dangdi the Masona, Jebek, Tafi so you Lucasula. Tangaran Nagona, never change love the soul. Super leg, not super change love the soul. Shiva leg, not shiva change love the soul. Soul, he redon go but so double started to chatanda travam, they don't go big, that's what in the double is.
The third part of this third point, bringing adversity onto the path, is a third way of doing this, not principally using relative bodhicitta alone or absolute bodhicitta alone, but using specific techniques or practices. And in the root text it says, the best methods or means are the 4 applications or 4 practices. These 4 practices are the gathering of the accumulations, the confession of wrongdoing, the giving of tormas to spirits, and the offering of tormas to dakinis and dharmapalas. And these are among methods or means, techniques one might employ, regarded as the best ways to transform adversity into the path. The first of these 4 is gathering the accumulations. This begins with an understanding of what adversity, the experience of adversity, does. I want to be happy. However, I don't get what I want. I get suffering. So when I don't get what I want, when my intentions or my aims are entirely different from the outcome, it's a message. This is a message. And this message is telling me, you don't want to suffer, right? Well, abandon the cause of suffering, wrongdoing. In other words, stop doing the things that are going to cause you to suffer later. You want to be happy? Fine. Do the things that will bring you happiness by gathering the accumulations. So, with that understanding your adversity as a message that you need to gather the accumulations, then turn yourself to good and positive activities. Presenting offerings to gurus and the 3 jewels, serving the sangha, giving tormas to spirits, offering butter lamps, satsas, performing prostrations, circumambulation, and so forth. Engage your body, speech, and mind as much as you can in means of gathering the accumulations of merit and wisdom. Especially, go for refuge, generate bodhicitta, and in particular, perform the 7 branches of accumulation and offer mandalas. In this context of mind training, however, you dedicate all this with a particular aspiration and supplication. Now, normally when we respond to adversity and we do something good, we think, through doing this, may my sickness go away. May I get what I want. But that contravenes mind training. So in mind training, you do it differently. You think, I pray for your blessing that if it be best for me to be sick now, that I be sick. I pray for your blessing that if it be best for me to be cured now, that I be cured. And I pray for your blessing that if it be best for me to die now of this sickness, that I die. The point of that type of dedication, aspiration, and supplication is you're transforming the act of gathering the accumulations into a powerful means for cutting through hope and fear.
Nipane Dumbang Hatala, Stakondo, Sumbekin the Batan, the Banghatala, Najeje, Dikpal, Japan, Jepa, number Sanjambeke top, Taka, Sasuki Bakare, Jayabatetam Jela. Then here Dini, that, Koda, Motan Jutan, Jobachambu Hasun, the theatre with guitar, when a lot of them beg goni. Then the number Sanjam beg top, change solar paja, Miji Yamba. Nipale dogbe. Nipale dogbe top, Conchola, Yapsun, Rohing, Semche but the danger top. Tombani Gombata, Zuha Cheparki, Doba So, Yambo Gotola, Beijing. They don't go with Sunday Chepa, Yambo Kondi Job top, Yambo Kondi Job top, Yibo, Seto, Longbar Chas, Animal Namdok.
La, de inashana.
Wallace.
The second of the four means of transforming adversity is the confession of wrongdoing. And the value of this is that if adversity is the result, karmic result of previous wrongdoing, by confession, you will purify it. However, the attitude one takes toward the act of confession is the same as the attitude just described in gathering the accumulations. It is one free from hope and fear. Nevertheless, the actual practice of confession is the same as in usual. It involves the application of what are called the four strengths or four powers. The first power is the power of relinquishment or renunciation, and that means to actually, you could say regret. It's to actually regret what it is that you are confessing, to regret having done it, as strongly as if you had unknowingly drunk poison. The second power is the power of resolution, and that is the resolution never to do it again. This is most powerful if it is unconditional. If you can actually say to yourself, no matter what, even if it be at the cost of my life, I will never do such and such thing again. The third power is the power of reliance or support. And this is relying on the three jewels as witnesses to your confession by taking refuge, and relying on bodhicitta itself by generating bodhicitta. The fourth and final power is the power of remedy or restitution, which is doing things, virtuous things, good things, and specifically dedicating them to the purification of one or more previous acts of wrongdoing. And these things can be of various types, such as meditation on emptiness, the repetition of mantras or dharanis, and so forth. They're generally classified as the 6 gateways to restitution. And also in this specific case, the prayer described earlier to cut through hope and fear. And so the second method, the confession of wrongdoing, is the application of these 4 powers.
Sumbane Nuchi la Donmajin Chejing Hara Dagel Lenja Nyat Chinching Polon Chewar Chepa Shendu Gadin Che Tadon Da Lagwan Dead Soul Tadon Da Lagwan Dead Soul Simje Tamje Dunga Mendopa Ne Chur Ne Churcha Nyom Nyoma Tamji Dala memban de to sol simjen tamji dunga tang trawan so ji tene jor sta de ta gi tene jowata te ta da menu na sham hingi tone gom la nye che la ta tang puk to kang pen ba sha yi ngai chu ji pa ji ma ji ka go
The third method is the giving of torma to spirits. Now, in this case, the spirit to whom you are giving the torma is the one that you believe is afflicting you, such as responsible for your illness or whatever other adversity you are facing. So this practice is you give a torma, you dedicate a torma to that spirit, and then you say, you have come into my life now because I harmed you in the past, in previous lives. And therefore you have come to collect repayment for the karmic debt that I owe you. This is extremely kind of you, as it will help me clean up my karma. I therefore request of you that you please continue to afflict me, and if you wish, destroy me utterly. And by doing so, by being willingly afflicted by you, may all of the suffering, undesirable experiences, sickness, bad luck, curses, disasters, fear, and dangers experienced by any and all other beings ripen only for me. I ask of you, Spirit, that you use your power to ensure that this be so. And together, let us ensure that all beings from now on be free from any and all forms of suffering. So in that way, you offer a torma, but instead of asking them to protect you, you ask them to attack you even more strongly in order to prevent other beings from suffering this. And that is the most mind training, concordant way to do this. If you can't do that, if you simply don't have the guts to do that, then give the torma to the spirit and meditate on love, compassion, and taking and sending. And say to the spirit, I will do everything in my power from now on to help you in the short run and long run. Therefore, please do not obstruct my practice of Dharma. Shipane, chuchon la Dharma bu.
Nipane, ni mando tharwa. Edel.
Shipane, chuchon la Dharma bu.
Yo. Thambone, menga himbon dorjibo.
De mare, de gonlare.
Ti konaro.
De gonlare.
Yivane, chujon la tamambol. Chu drupe guardian hiwa ta chujon la tamambol ne. Tene chujon de la chu drupe ge guardian kare yabate tamji hiwa tene jol chepal como redo gobe sonde piawo sta con somata dola redo gobe ge ta sonde priyan yando la cheko ri sti lowa lam da some chil tala kantu gom de gal shebe loborto nasa donge nyomon baso rana choam Rana Chuam, Yena Medope, Yepa, Tonam, Tony Kona Chao, Yambata, Yawala Sopa Rangis Samjo Lake Bakon Lam, Semje Tamji, Deve, Semje Tamji, Deve Janki, Sagbi Chuji Chawa, Rang Chawala Nangin Yobat Chuji, Yambata. Dewa tang jiba chonang te yendo yal ka te namto nyamba jewa ham wamit chawa nyamba la yugo ba chonang semje tamje ye namto nyamba chawa nyamba tamje dagan dela dupar churji nyamba sam Dona sa nyal do cha choram che chang yempen yisambe simbar che ne thala jin zangi kan tokja lojong ge gom konar jawar chawo.
The fourth of the particular methods or techniques for bringing adversity to the path is to offer tormas, as is frequently done, to dakinis and dharmapalas. And in this case, you offer the torma and you pray that adversities obstructing your dharma practice, your spiritual practice, be pacified, and that those to whom you offer the torma bring about conditions conducive to your spiritual development. And especially in this context of mind training, you add this prayer for cutting through hope and fear. If, in other words, if it be better for me to be sick, may I be sick. If it be better for me to be cured, may I be cured. If it be better for me to die, may I die. Now this third point concludes with two more lines from the root text that summarize all three approaches, the approach of absolute bodhicitta, relative bodhicitta, and particular methods or techniques. And the root text says, in order to bring sudden adversity onto the path, or raise it onto the path, apply meditation immediately to whatever you encounter, or join it with meditation. It often happens in our lives that suddenly things go wrong. Suddenly we might become ill, we might be afflicted by spirits or obstructors, or we might have a sudden upheaval of our kleshas. When such things happen to you, or when you see others so afflicted or so menaced, apply taking and sending to this immediately. And the way to ensure that you do this is by preparing yourself beforehand. It's too late if you wait until things suddenly happen and then you say, I'm going to apply taking and sending to this. You have to get in the habit of doing it when things haven't gone wrong yet, because eventually they will go wrong. They always do. And so you have to prepare yourself. When things go wrong, I am going to apply tonglen, or taking and sending. But this needs to be, taking and sending needs to be applied not only to when things go wrong. We also need to prepare for when things go right. Sometimes you'll have really good thoughts, or you'll find yourself doing really, really good things. When that happens, make the aspiration, may all other beings do even better than this. May all other beings have more compassion than this. May they do more good than I am doing or than I can do right now, and so on. And similarly, if you find yourself happy, if you're having a good time, things are going okay, then make the same aspiration. May each and every other being be even happier than this. May they have even better stuff than this, whatever it is. Now, in spite of the mind training practice, you may find yourself having malicious or malevolent thoughts. In other words, a thought about someone that, wouldn't it be nice if something bad happened to them, and so on. If or when, let's say if, you should happen, not that it would happen to any of us, but if it should happen that you have a negative thought, if you should happen to have a negative thought, or if you find yourself in a situation which you can't get out of, where you have to do something that you consider wrong, make the aspiration, may all the negative thinking, all the malice or malevolence in the hearts of all beings be drawn into mine. May no being ever have a thought like this. Or may all the wrongdoing of all other beings be drawn into this wrongdoing of mine. May no other being ever engage in such wrongdoing. In short, the idea is that no matter what you do, no matter what situation you experience, whether things are going wrong or things are going right, whether you're eating, lying down, walking, sitting, whatever you're doing, that you do it with the intention of helping others. And in order to do that, you need to apply Mahayana mind training to whatever you encounter, without distinguishing between a good and bad or pleasant and unpleasant, but simply equally responding to it with the mind training.
Sandige chondo singetela masibage kantawo yori singe tambe reji shogo sandige chontola masib kantawo yori tenengoma suma ngongha singete ta ngongha nanya keda jengide tenete nala lama jege konke jog sojandong ne tendeje yo
Soja. Sorry.
sa yo de kapsula tene khade ena geona tene sur lukha lakwa ji inde che jang go res
Chilne nala changla.
chene na geona lukha lakwa ji inde jang go res
Yeah.
ta lan de chondo ba jang de kong ge che ta kong le pe ma se be me gwa de ton do kan ji kten be ya wo yo da da khare che ko na tan de la ngon ne te je to go men ro te kham ta ke bol te ta ga ba ka ga sha sa ne na tan ne kong ge te ma to ne ya do wa ya na ta kong ne lam ma te kon de son ne ta nga che che de ta te ne yong ga do se te te le ya ne te je to go men ro te son de ma to ta khare cha na ga ge de oh, tomato, tanto chiama. Ta cade tensono che sola di corsos. E invece tom de job più. Ten la matte che te canna. Te come sono ta con tamla de capsule. Tene ancora Takumana is a Tajon down de Gaslia, Tayonis. Tayon the Tom the Jabno. Tom the Jab Tata takes the Tom Gazette, then the Tom Jab. Tom Jab did Sanya de Lamicondel. Yason the Kota Kadachas. Yet I go Lamason and I Tom Javais. They caught a carrot race. Can't read my son say those. That caught a sword, you do the son. When the wall, the Javin was. That is so not so the then the chambers and get the days. Then the Tan don't dawaji in Tanda Missege, Lojong Tondin don't dawaina. Mambo jig some cover or the J. No patching the chona. La flor, flat tapo jig gone in patching, Doriagan, do hin dawater, flat tapu, Tangach and Don Yana. The neta jump to begin to hin dawater, and they shook him but tang orders. Yorded the Tende how your maris, flat tapu, Koran gone in Dortum King, Kanzatina. The name Kanzak Koran lion on a flan drop deba. Flash dark to careers and Yons over Tom Jete, Champion Chanchok Sem Chod Choba Jet of Deba. Tende Jig Kanzajina, that then the Dotoguris. Mato by Jig Tigas and Aranso Sausage or Jig Tenet, Tende Chigan Dogachena, Pemba Regiane, Penanaba, then the social Yoris. That they let the name show the Jobata and up Lojong Tony Metoni, Sumbatadola, then a Changi Chanjoga Simki, then it Deva the Gevatum J party, Dongatum J Soli, then a Koran Sogan, the J Tom J Hiorko, some Begatini, Chanjoga Simki, then they check in nothing, it then in the Peto Shimong, it is still out.
Now, we've heard a lot about spirits and affliction by spirits and what to do if the spirits are bothering you. Primarily what spirits do is they mess with our minds. And they mess with our minds by creating what we usually call in English apparitions. And the apparitions, of course, are illusions. But they are illusions that can fool us and cause us to do things that we'd better not do. To tell you a well-known story about this, there was a practitioner of Chu, or severance, who was accumulating 100 severance feasts, which is a customary observance, in the protector temple at Surmong Monastery. Now, the protector temple at Surmong Monastery is one of the most famous protector temples in our tradition in eastern Tibet, principally dedicated to the four-armed Mahakala, whom you also pray to here. In that protector temple, the four-armed Mahakala is practiced 24 hours a day. Now, this guy wasn't practicing that. He was doing the severance feasts. And he he started to see a leg of lamb sticking in from the window. And, of course, this was an apparition, and the apparition arose because he was good at severance. If you're good at severance, then the spirits are going to notice, and then they're going to try to mess with you. So his first reaction when seeing this leg of lamb sticking in the window, which he knew to be some kind of apparition. I mean, people don't just walk around with legs of lamb sticking them in the windows of protector temples to distract, the lamas. His first thought was to stab it, and of course, he was Rinpoche said, I can say, he was from eastern Tibet, so of course he had a knife. Makes out the sermon console like, Especially Surmong is known for, anyway. He had a knife, And so he could have stabbed it. But something was nagging him about it. And he thought, I don't know. I feel like I should be stabbing that thing. But maybe not. And eventually he went to his teacher, his guru, and he explained, he said, everything's going well, except that I keep on seeing this leg of lamb sticking in the window. And when I see it, I think, I should stab that, And, but somehow I am hesitant to do so. And his teacher said, whatever you do, don't stab the leg of lamb. Said, here's what you do. Take some charcoal. And instead of stabbing the leg of lamb, every time the leg of lamb sticks in the window and you see it, mark it with charcoal. So the next day, he's doing his severance feasts, and every time the leg of lamb sticks in, he marks it with a charcoal. And then, pretty soon he's marked it up pretty good. He's like, every time. And then the next day he goes to his teacher, and the teacher says, so did you bring the charcoal? He says, yeah. And he says, so what happened when you marked the leg of lamb? He said, nothing happened. I would mark it, and then it would come back again, and I would mark it, and it didn't change anything. Nothing happened. He said, take your shirt off. And he took his shirt off, and all the marks he put were right like over his heart. So had he stabbed the leg of lamb, he would have been going like that. That's what they do. So I'm telling you this story, Rinpoche said, so that you understand the importance of using love and compassion and bodhicitta rather than violence or even practices that invoke a spirit of violence to deal with spirits. Especially in the context of the 7 points of mind training, it's important and actually very safe to respond to spirit apparitions with compassion, with an attitude of giving, with an attitude of empathy. A lot of people who do Vajrayana practice think that they should deal with spirit apparitions by imagining a wrathful deity and using the energy of the wrathful deity to somehow conquer or squish the spirit. But that's not easy. You need to have realized the deity through practice, through intensive practice, and you still need to be motivated by love and compassion and bodhicitta. If those two things are present, you might be able to do it, but it's still a dangerous thing to do. You don't want to pick a fight with somebody who can stick legs of lamb that aren't there in your window. So it's much safer and more effective, and anyone can do this, to respond to a spirit with an empathetic attitude of love, compassion, and bodhicitta. Shiba tse chige nyamlan drilne tempala nyi.
Yiba tse chige nyamne tenne tempala nyi. Tse chige nyamne tenne tempala nyi. Tse ndere chetar chawa ta. Chekar chetar chawa o tambo menga nyingbo do dupa. Togma tadan jawar cha hi songde tambe chu nyamsu lembe menga sabgu che terla nyamni nenga dordona top ngati Tambon Pembege Domni Tundeni Zonde Sama je patang chepar chepar mahi patang goes lon de tan dawan de yango tereng sanyi pardo chancho ge sem yin tang ten mendar mendawa chao hi lo pemba tapo tang state da lo ki gon pe ma se pe pemba tapo kelen tapo zo to go res ye pa kombe top ne kyolam mam gedik lama ten ji chao che shi la yukin do chang chen shi ji tike zone chanchup ye sem yin da madawa yang tang yang to songwa te dona gejor ji to chanchup sem na laba wo samba kapu sawon ji top ne chanchup sem jeba tang pelwe tun to gewa la choshi meba lunga yi sam gewa la ta tumbo gewa la ta tumbo ma wo gewa sun je metam ne da chen de che nam to nam chwa na lang ngar yang thoma me pan ne khoan cham dong na to nyo che je le sa chen de te ke lamba re sen de ya dikpa da dong chen ni chwa tham che tamji jang de khone le ta yang cho tang ro na chi mi tare de chela chetab chago nyambe dan the ke nam do jang pang ba o ngaw malam je top ne gejor kang chebe hiam to cher semje tamje da khone sangje ye salan den bar choji chepa tu tun den sanje mathab ju pato chacho senum boje naba ni malam to ya meje jing kone pewar shoji jeng je chong yang chancho sem je to so chen ne bar choji hi thapani dapi gewa tamje te thand ho Over chaos.
So, having completed the third point, which was bringing adversity to the path, we now turn to the fourth, which is how to summarize this practice into, there are two ways to understand this. One is to how to summarize this practice so that your whole life can be lived according to it. Another way is to think of how to wrap your life around this practice. And there are two parts to this, how to live and how to die. So the first is how to live. And the root text, in the root text, this occupies the next two lines, which say, the summarized essence of instructions is the application of the five powers or five strengths. The essentially the presentation here of the five powers is a way of summarizing all the most profound points about how to practice Dharma into these five things. The first power is the power of momentum. Now, the last time I translated a teaching on this, there was someone in the audience who was very pedantic and trained in science and said that the use of the word momentum here is scientifically incorrect. This ain't science, okay? Get over it. Momentum is the idea of when you have a plan, even though you're not thinking of the plan all the time, the plan is still there until you've decided not to do it. For example, if you think, I want to wake up at 5 tomorrow morning, and you don't have an alarm clock, you'll probably still wake up then, even though when you were asleep you weren't thinking about it, because there's some kind of momentum that's established in your mind. In this case, in the case of mind training, the momentum is this. It's the thought, from now onward, until I achieve Buddhahood, especially until I die, particularly this year, most particularly this month, and absolutely from today until this time tomorrow, I will not ever be separated from the two bodhicittas, relative and absolute bodhicitta. So with your mind, you establish that momentum or impetus. The second power is the power of habit. Whatever you're doing, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, always combine it with mindfulness and alertness. Mindfulness is being aware of what you're doing, and alertness is the faculty within your mind that alerts you when you lose mindfulness. And practice in every situation, whatever you're doing, recollection of the two bodhicittas. Get into the habit of recollecting relative and absolute bodhicitta in all the different situations that you experience throughout your day and in your life. Basically, the power of habit is to emphasize the cultivation of bodhicitta above everything else in both your meditation and post-meditation training. The third power is the power of seeds of goodness. And seeds of goodness are the imprints that we plant within ourselves by doing good things. The value of this in this context is that basically what inspires us to first generate or give rise to bodhicitta, and what causes bodhicitta to grow within us is the good we do. So therefore, involve your body, speech, and mind without, what's that word? It's not contentment, it's complacency. Without complacency in every good action that you can think of. The fourth power is the power of rejection. And in this case, what you are rejecting is selfishness. Whenever a selfish thought arises, think of the thought as a problematic person. And remind yourself that this habit of selfishness has gotten you into trouble throughout beginningless time. In fact, all the trouble we've ever gotten into, the trouble of samsara, has been caused by selfish thinking. So say to it, all of the suffering that I have gone through, all of the misery that I've ever experienced was caused by you. In this life, every mistake I've made, everything I've done wrong, and all of the misery I've experienced were also caused by you. I am done with you. There is no happiness in your company. In fact, I'm going to destroy you. And view your selfishness, selfish thinking, as your only enemy. And reject it. Cast it as far away as you can. The fifth and final strength is the strength or power of aspiration. And this is to dedicate with the following aspiration any practice or good deed you do. May I gain the ability to, by myself alone, bring all beings to Buddhahood. Especially from now until I achieve Buddhahood, may I never, not even in a dream, forget either of the two bodhicittas, and may they constantly increase within me. No matter what adversity I face, may I be able to transform it into assistance in my development of further bodhicitta. And so make that fervent aspiration and dedicate whatever good you do to that purpose. Asa.
Niba chunde logje dakame donga chetara chena taking power donga ne top nga nye cholam chi hibate chundela jamba kansa che ngebe nejete tambol yoji che yaba tamchi cher lama koncho gurangi pen yape rangche songwe choso dangla chajin tewa potang mebar hebate kabu sawon yi top standel tekse nenga chemon da nang to yore de chen de nyamne song khe ta we na tambo pa nyo long cho da bo so so khade yona ya so su ke tepa cho de chobe ke jewo thamba tham je ta kende pa la phu jo ta ten na yin ke pa so sakasakala kala te go samna te chasa te kodam pasu tamne shesha yulu so siki tondo ne meba chi sondo go yoris ta te tabo soya te kichimo da wo stigeri nuna yana dumba bol menuna ang dage tusum do sabe geva sawa chi yoben tu da Jewa tamche to chanshu ji semrumbo chi mechi jing yang ne kone pewar chujik chun de tomba lama yang tabatan yawar chujik tetar ndopa lama da koncho rumbo chi chen ye labdo sol shi yi te chikbe malam yete jigbu malam jitop se no kuna
she yetse chikbe mumba malam jitop dang
yete jigbe mamba malam jitop tang da jin de cho dang mepal tok cho da jin de cho tang mepal do cho thare chang chewa duhan nyo thon thamba da simchi da thang sem madupar chiju me na chong sambe dante chu chene la da thamba dante chu chene la par chao nyamba so sun jimbe ke cheka tang pado jewa tamche do chanchu ju sen mo che namba ni da mara war chao nyamba te pembe ke top ngar gombe chanchu ju sem ni sal depane kombe ke to yimbe to teda tse chikdo chashin tosu cholam yang che de luni chudu luni namna chudu na yutang minu nam yo ye odo chuk lakpa ye la damba teaching tewu chung nam nawu ye ka long yoni bubar shawa cham ye ngondon dobe long dong tang yate toni yang te jela konde Chela so bottom ki semnai semi keria matu pahi shipe ngang la lo yong king yang mende parya teta ki ngang la u don ni parchaus chewe donga yo
Uchewa mangde.
Saya la semua. Jiwa saja unda marwa.
Mare. Tata de. Nala nangi me.
Tadi no. Chen dela jam kanzaki. Chen ye benech tebete. Tenima.
De rotsare.
Tenima
De majamare.
Dakwa ye sem.
Tema
Sem kaya madrupa hesengitwa.
lare.
Sheping ngang la lo kaya mende barisha. Tadak ngang la. O non nu barisha was. Cheba donga. What chewa. Mang te dele. Ngon tawa. Me song. Rona.
Dronbu manyampe sektal.
Nova manyampe sektal. Do kabne je chema tande. Tabla jing sado. Do kabne je chema ni. Dang Hyon la jarwa. Chiwuro chupa. De jim pobe menga yenos.
De so de kunju chindo nere.
Ere.
Re.
Ende Dang Hyon jayat.
De zedong zegipo. De shena la yo segere ma to de do kablange sema dang de tsotsama de zhongzi dang joya de.
Kochu jinjuk.
Ko chiwala chotna de rangshin je namshe de la dogrese. Now, the second part of this fourth point is how to die. And the instructions of this tradition on how to face death, are found in the next two lines of the root text, which says, "The instructions of the Mahayana on transition are also the five strengths or five powers." Behavior is important, but actually behavior here means physical posture. Now, this term transition actually means transition, but we tend to translate it, sometimes it's called ejection of consciousness or transference of consciousness and so on. Ejection is one means of effecting a good transition, but the term poa itself means transition. So it's used, for example, of transitions in time and so on. And we use the term transition in English to refer to death and so forth. And the reason why that's significant here is that until at the end there's a little bit of ejection of consciousness, but basically what's being presented here is not ejection, but how to effect a good transition. So as in the case of living, the instructions for dying consist of the same five powers, but they're applied obviously slightly differently and in a different order. When someone who is trained in this Dharma becomes mortally ill, so that their death is certain, no means of preventing it or any longer possible, the first thing that they need to do, Dila tabshi zogugudo,
간절해.
lama kuncho la chatsangwa poyate.
뜻없이 고도.
The first thing they need to do is ensure that when they die, they are not worried about or attached to what they're leaving behind, especially their stuff. So it's important before you die to make sure that all of your stuff, your money, your houses, whatever you've got, is going where you want it to go. And in this tradition, they recommend that you determine a certain amount of it that you're going to offer to your gurus or the three jewels, asking for prayers, whatever, and that you make sure that it's going there so that it's all arranged beforehand, so that you know where everything is going and you're not worried about it or attached to it. And this is very important because one of the things that afflicts us and holds us back at the time of dying is worrying about our stuff and our I guess our money and so on. So make a will. And especially if you can give whatever feels reasonable to you to virtuous objects like gurus, three jewels, charities, and that kind of thing. That's the first power. That's the power of seeds of goodness. Because then in your mind, you know that, it's not literally that by dying you're helping others, but associated with your death is going to do some good. And that changes the situation. And then also, if you can, as you're dying, offer the 7 branches. And if you can't, dedicate all of your virtue, thinking, by the power of whatever virtue I have accumulated in the past, I'm accumulating now, or will accumulate in the future, in my every lifetime, may I not ever forget precious bodhicitta. May I always cultivate it. May it constantly increase. May I always encounter an authentic spiritual friend who teaches this. And I pray for the blessings of the gurus and the three jewels that this occur. And that aspiration is the second power, the power of aspiration. The third power is the power of rejection. And as before, this is the rejection of selfishness. And this is the recollection as you approach death that I have been ruined, tormented throughout countless lifetimes by my selfishness. In fact, I'm now suffering as I die because of selfishness. Why is that true? Because it is selfishness that keeps me from realizing or experiencing absolute truth, true reality. And in true reality, there's no such thing as a self. There's no such thing as a mind. Therefore, there's nothing that dies. There isn't actually death. Sickness, death, the thought, I'm sick, I'm dying, these are delusions created by my selfishness. So therefore, you take the attitude, selfishness, I'm going to destroy you. So that's the power of rejection. And The power of momentum is the thought, the plan. As I die in the bardo and in all future lives, I will never be separate from, never without, the two bodhicittas. And the power of habit is to remind yourself, as you are dying, of the two bodhicittas that you cultivated or meditated upon during that life. So those 5 powers are the principal things you do to prepare for death. Now, you'll remember that at the end of the second line of the root text, it said, position is important. I mean, chilam actually can mean what you do, but in this case it means position. And this is a way of facilitating your transition through the dying and death process. Depending upon what you're dying of, if you can, sit up in the meditation posture, the 7 dharmas of Vairocana. If you can't, then lie down on your right side with your right hand under your right cheek and the little finger of your right hand holding your right nostril closed. And try to ensure that you're breathing through your left nostril. Then initially contemplate love and compassion, and then principally practice taking and sending in coordination with your breathing as you get ready to die. And at the end, before you start to lose consciousness, remind yourself that samsara and nirvana, birth and death, are simply projections of the mind. And that the mind itself does not really exist. So remind yourself of these 2 things, that samsara, nirvana, and birth and death are just projections of the mind, and that the projecting mind does not exist, and let go. Just rest, letting go of everything without holding on to anything. And try to breathe your last breath in that state of letting go. Although there are many renowned instructions, famous instructions for dying in our tradition, it's said that these are the best. There are no more wondrous, no more practical and effective than these. And then at the end of this section, Jungala Drtai gives what's called substantial ejection or transition instructions, which is, and this is done for others as well. It's like if you want to ensure that someone's consciousness leaves by the aperture of Brahma, then you can tilt the machine a bit by, and no one gets that now because no one plays pinball, right? You can hedge your bet. Yeah, nobody's, How many people here have actually played pinball in their lives? Okay, right, good, yeah, okay. That sometimes the ped ngaran gesoma gedari nge ped Lojong console gogman though. Yeah. Anyway, and I bet he has too. But anyway, you take you burn cowrie shells, and you take the ashes of burnt cowrie shells and magnetic powder, so a powdered magnet or lodestone, and you mix them in a paste with honey, and you put that, you rub some of that on top of the head of the dying person, and that will cause their, consciousness to tend to go up there, according to the instructions. Oh, that's so.
That's all. Ngaba young but sit tambane. Chuk gomba chik do he son de. Take what chechonge, chutam che gomba ne. Dante, Ndorwa chikbol dupe. Chu che yin. Lojong gom yin, da chindi. Chechong tondo goes, da Dante nyambo. Nyambo mason na chu chesi, tomit so yin. Chu chusu, romdo, sawandela, tope. De chupa sana. Java Jama so that Dante te cho do mundo te taya te kitchen body Dante te macho na tene Lojong paint over your mother Dante te cho sona tene on a tati bache kare na yantene Dante joya atlante Jamanda wa into capsula tene take a tang on it and hack over it. Pambo yin ye so song hipa ne yin take hipa tedin to Towa yang pambo hime ji rano kujur yekten pape meto cholam lekban nari chang gorse ransam ranke matre washi ta do chona lonjang ta yimbe yenji pambo la cha meyo pa Ransem je pambo zo rongo idim bashi yondo ten shibane jenge dongar che chongyang jikta imok namya mechewa lojong ge to song ne ye dewa bashi yondo dogmane lonjang te yimbe Jenge kang chongyang tela gawa gom ne teye ting to yanji jenge tamche jang ga yendo lamba la labar chawo yang jang tumna jangba yin hiba te pena ta tarjin te yang jang ta pena ta tarjin te yang jang ta le milhwa ta Lobo to Jenge Shonwa ta jung la com somewhere getting ta la subjung yapore somewhere get metal chimbote ta lobo to jo na tane songmari songbada pete ta dola che te tembe mason yang jengete Jenge teni Lojong ke to sun ro top na yawa de da ni ne ji de do che chong tham che je teng to chan ju ye sem ni to me to lang to ye wa ho inde
Shipo de sache mare. Shipo de jongchu sem jongching.
Yibo de chancho sem yongxing ned song ta yin xing jie me go be ta yin sewa mempa sang ma jie ji pa to compare la labar chao
Oh, so. The fifth of the 7 points is the appraisal or measure of mind training. In other words, how to tell how trained you're becoming, whether it's working. And this is contained in the next four lines of the root text. The first one, the first line says, all Dharma agrees on one point, or you could say all Dharma comes together, is gathered into one point. All of the Dharma taught by the Buddha, whether of the greater or lesser vehicle, has one purpose, and that is to conquer selfishness. That is its entire and sole purpose. Therefore, as you practice Dharma, whatever you practice, in particular if you're practicing Mahayana mind training, your self-cherishing, your selfishness. It's very easy if we say your fixation on a self, but it hits home when we say selfishness. Your selfishness must lessen. If the Dharma practice you do does not become a remedy for your selfishness, then it is completely pointless, completely meaningless. And we talk about in the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa, the Dharma becoming Dharma, Dharma going to the path, and so on. That depends entirely on this. What is meant by Dharma becoming the path, or Dharma becoming Dharma, is this. So therefore, this is called the scales on which practitioners are weighed. And if your selfishness is getting less, it doesn't matter how selfish you are, as long as you're getting less and not more, then it's working. It may be working slowly, but it's working. If you're becoming more and more selfish, then something's gone wrong. The second way to appraise Dharma is, of the 2 witnesses, hold to the principle, or the main one. There are 2 witnesses to our spiritual development, or lack of. One is others, and the other one is ourselves. When other people see you as an authentic Buddhist or practitioner, that is a kind of witness. I mean, they are witnessing your behavior, your demeanor, and they infer from that that you're a good Buddhist, a good practitioner. But most people can't really know what's going on inside, because what's really going on inside you is hidden from other ordinary people. Therefore, it's very easy to fool people. All you have to do is to act good in one particular way or one particular situation. Do one particular good thing, get known for it, and people might be delighted by it, might be pleased. They might say, so-and-so's a really great practitioner because I saw them give money to a homeless person or something. It's very easy to impress others. But you know the truth. So you are your own principal witness. And the sign of mind training, your mind becoming trained, is if you never have to be ashamed of what's going on in your own mind. If your mind doesn't sicken and disgust you, that's a sign of mind training. If it's always that way. I mean, if just occasionally, your mind's not disgusting, then that's not. So therefore, don't take others as witnesses. Take your own mind as your own witness. The third means of appraisal is always rely upon a happy mind alone. If, and you obviously this is a result, not something you can force, if no matter what happens, no matter how much adversity and suffering you experience, you are not overwhelmed, you are not afraid, you're not depressed, and it doesn't make you unhappy, you don't make a big deal about it, that's a sign that mind training is working. Because you are happy even in the midst of adversity. So therefore, whenever adversity arises, reflect upon it with joy for the reasons described earlier, and especially pile on top of it in your aspiration all the adversity and suffering that afflicts others. And then the fourth and final point in this section is, if you can manage even when distracted, you are trained. The analogy here is of a skilled rider of horses. A skilled rider of horses will not fall off their horse even if they become distracted, or even if there's a sudden adversity, like the horse shies or bucks or something. So if you actually can transform adversity into the path of mind training, even when you are not consciously exerting mindfulness, even when you are becoming distracted, that is a sign that you that mind training is working. So therefore, the message of that is, make sure that you can effortlessly and clearly invoke the two bodhicittas in the face of whatever appears: enemies, friends, attackers, happiness, misery, and so on. Now, these 4 points are indications that mind training is working. They are not indications that you're done. They are not indications that, oh, great, I've completed mind training. My mind is now trained. So keep on practicing mind training until you achieve Buddhahood. Then you're done.
Chupat Lojong ke tamsik ne chedong sum la ta do lab che song de chedong sum ne Lojong kelang tang matrawati sotar changsem ngach laba chamo tsenje rangki kan langbal nyetong tme mago patang tok mahorwati da jindi mepa yen je kodo rewe hladen hikba shingen tandan de sonna tandigman wala shingen gyoba da jindi kogi jindi de hik sasong senken je ha koya ge tonda la na manda so na gyoba chuni tokba de tang tokba so tosu ge gyoba pang de namta sang sele war chawatang namta de pe ta kunjo kan ye ten tende namande re ma so ya boko so no chu de ma long chu de ma long te me no ba ze jang lai no ba me zo ba tang te ko dog ba tang ya lai no ba ze me no ba ma zo ba ko dog ba tang ni na zo da la me zo ba tang te nam la ze jang na sa so dunga la me zo ba tang sen te tam che ze jang接受的劝wa so Lojong chore wa pa wa tamtik yembe ta do so wa chao danger
Kabbalah.
so wa chao si yen gibana le ngabana dumba sazata lips. Dumba jola rangsor yas. Dumba jola rangsor ya chepa ne har rangchi yin mi chepe. Dumba te kodo su jola yin ro kona chepa son Lojong tam che ngonsen shong la sacho chewa shi cha gobe che jolam che che chun je tobo yin nam tang dawar ranso tsobar ya la yin chi masoro wa ju memba shi cha wo
Inashana.
laso
Okay. Now we come to the sixth of the 7 points, which is the samaya, or commitments of mind training. And the first of these is always practice or train in three things, three general points. Now, the first of the three is to not contravene the promises or commitments you have undertaken. Those, whatever commitments you've undertaken of the Pratimoksha, Bodhisattva vow, or Vajrayana Samaya. And to do your best not to become stained by even minor contraventions of those. So that's the first point, which is not to contravene your commitments. The second point is not to be pretentious. And this is not to act in such a way that you intentionally cause others to believe you're better than you are. And this is something that, of course, nobody here would ever do this, but this is something that occasionally happens a great deal in various communities. And this is when you will act in such a way so that people will think you're less selfish than you are. And you're not being unselfish because you're unselfish. You're being unselfish for the selfish reason of wanting people to respect you for being unselfish. So you might engage in elaborate behaviors or strategies in order to impress your Dharma buddies, such as destroying statues to show that you've realized whatever it is, emptiness, or cutting trees, haunted trees, to show that you're not afraid of spirits, or polluting sacred rivers to show that you're not afraid of the nagas, or hanging out with lepers to show that you're... These are the kind of things that people do if they're fake severance practitioners. When they, real severance practitioners are not afraid of catching infectious diseases and so on. So, but a fake one might think, if I go and hang out with the lepers, then people will think I'm really cool. I'm like really... And so, don't be clean and honest in your behavior. Don't pretend to be better than you are, and especially don't do so in order to fool others into thinking you're better than you are. So the first one is don't contravene your commitments. The second one is don't be a pretentious jerk. And the third one is don't be partial. And partial means when you're, and this is something that we often do. Of course, nobody here, but I do it. It's when you know, you're good in some situations, but in other situations, you're really a jerk. Like, you will put up with human aggression, but you won't put up with the aggression of spirits. You get really mad at spirits. Or the opposite. You'll put up with the aggression of spirits, but if a person is mean to you, you snap. Or you'll put up with your friends, but not with your enemies. Or you'll put up with your friends and enemies and aggression from spirits, but the slightest illness makes you completely a selfish baby. Or you'll put up with adversity. You're good with adversity. People can be mean to you, can get sick, spirits can attack you. None of that freaks you out. But as soon as things go well for you, you forget all about Dharma. You become completely intoxicated. So don't be partial means abandon, always practice abandoning this kind of partiality. So these three are: don't contravene your commitments, don't be pretentious, and don't be partial. And those constitute, those three together, the first piece of advice in the root text, which is always cultivate these three general points. The second piece of advice is change your attitude and rest in place. Changing the attitude means giving up selfishness. Up to now, until we began mind training, we cherished ourselves. We cared about ourselves, and we didn't care about others. Those others that we care about, to the extent that we care about anyone other than ourselves, we care about because they are accessories. My children, my parents, my country, my party, my religion, whatever. That's not caring about others. That's just caring about yourself. So you need to totally reverse that. And instead of being selfish, care about others more than yourself. And the way to do this, that's very important, is that as in all aspects of mind training, it should be a great deal of change with very little external evidence, which is the opposite of the way that we tend to, especially, converts, we tend to get dramatic and, put on Tibetan clothes and look like, whatever it is we do, and carry malas around and so on. Meanwhile, insides, we're still just like vessels of crud. So you want the opposite. You want to look completely ordinary on the outside, but be extraordinary on the inside. So in your external behavior, you should conform to the social norms, Zhongwen Lodru Tai says, of your particular lifestyle. So if you're a monastic, you act just like other monastics. If you're a lay person, you act just like other lay people. But inside, your attitude has flipped. You're no longer dedicating your life to selfishness. And so therefore, and you can hold your seat, you can rest in that place, independent of others. So you could say, transform your attitude and be independent internally without making a fuss or causing a disturbance. So he concludes this section by saying, basically, you need to grow up in the Mahayana sense without anyone knowing it. Drozari.
tā tī kā tī kā tī kā sāndā.
So we'll stop here for this morning
Ngā mā nā wā rī mō.
and would it recite the dedication?
Page 59. We will do the top prayer. I have the page wrong. 79. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment.
Daddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, welcome again, everyone, and we'll break for this afternoon. We have a beautiful lunch downstairs prepared by Elvira, so please come down and enjoy whatever. It smells delicious, so whatever is happening down there, it smells great. I just wanted to touch base. We'll have a kata offering at the end of the teachings today. For anyone who needs to leave earlier, you're welcome to offer a kata before that. And we do have envelopes, and there are some katas that Rinpoche has for sale that are by donation for KPL on the desk outside the door. So please feel free to use those if you need. And I would like to ask for a little bit of help. After lunch today, about 1:15, I was wondering if a few people could help downstairs. I'd like to get things like cleaned up and the tables put away. We'll be done with our lunch and eating and everything down there. And then after the teachings are over, if a couple people could stay a little bit and help clean the gumpa up here, that would be really wonderful. And then we can all leave feeling like we've accomplished not only the teachings, but we've accomplished the cleaning too. So that would be great. And also welcome our streamers. We are streaming today again. And I know I mentioned yesterday, these teachings will remain public. So for anyone who would like to revisit them, will be welcome to do so. You'll just be able to find them on the YouTube station. And then we had a lost ring I'm holding here. It looked pretty precious. So if anyone has lost a ring, I found it down. Oh, very good. There you go. All right, thank you, everyone. I'll see you at 1:15 downstairs, and we can do some work after lunch. Okay. Enjoy.
because the